Hey guys, Mike, your host of Craft Beer Storm. How are you doing today? It's Monday, and we are doing another episode of my visit to the Great American Beer Festival. We have some live sound bites, and this week we interviewed some people from within the Brewers Association. There's different booths, and the first one was the American Homebrewers Association. There's individuals who brew beer at home, and this is where your professionals come from. They start out. And then there's another booth, Heavy Metal, which previous GABF and World Cup beer winners. And then the ProAm, which is where they pair a amateur home brewer to a professional brewery, and then they make a beer together and enter into competition. So it's good stuff. And, here we go. Hey, I'm here with Gary. He's the director of the American Homebrewers Association. How you doing, Gary?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. A lot of people. That's why you hear the roar in the background. There's just loads of people here. But I saw the American Homebrewers Association. Can you tell me a little bit more about it, how it started, what your role is?
Sure. The American Homebrewers Association was founded in 1978 by Charlie Papazian and his friend Charlie Mattson. And just a few years later, they started this beer festival, the Great American Beer Festival. So this really did start with homebrewers and the American Homebrewers Association.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love it. I was here last night. I was here a couple years ago. But it's awesome. Just the energy here is fantastic. And that's how I started as a home brewer. Mm-hmm. And then I have my own brewery now. I went commercial. So I went from 5 gallons to 200 gallons. What do you say to home brewers who want to maybe make the leap or want to get involved with the American Homebrewers Association?
Well, yeah, I think getting involved with the American Homebrewers Association is a great way to get the information you need to get your beer up to the level at which you could be starting your own brewery. We're also a part of the Brewers Association, and we have another division specifically for small independent breweries. So it's a great tie-in to help you make that leap. We put on our HomebrewCon event every year, and there's always a segment of that that's about homebrewers who want to start thinking about opening their own brewery.
That's awesome. Now you put this conference separately from this? Where is that?
Yeah, so next year we'll be in Nashville in June.
Oh, cool. So that if I'm a home brewer, I want to go, I just check it out. And I guess it's a lot. I came to the Craft Brewers Conference earlier this year as well, and just so much information you can learn from people who've actually done it, So.
Right, yeah, both those events, the HomebrewCon is primarily for homebrewer information, but all of that is applicable to a commercial brewery as well. And then the Brewers Association's Craft Brewers Conference is really aimed at commercial craft brewers, and the like you said, the people we have as speakers are experts in their field. It's an outstanding way of learning more about the craft.
Yeah, no, I think it's excellent. I wish I probably would have went to it before I opened my commercial brewery. It's been a roller coaster, man. It's not a cakewalk. You got to know what you're doing, and come up with a realistic business plan in order to, get your home brew. Like, you can't just make an IPA and expect everybody just to say, oh, this is great, and just buy it. There's so many IPAs. What differentiates yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's over 7,000 breweries in this country now, so you definitely have to differentiate yourself. And there's more to a successful brewery than just making great beer. I mean, that's like the minimum. Right. You got to be a decent business person. You got to market your business, and so there's a lot of important information you got to have in hand before you can launch a successful brewery.
And that's what my podcast is all about, just helping local brewers, because I've been a local brewer, and it's tough, like, to market, because you need a big budget to get it out there. I mean, there's people that still walk in and say, when did you open? I'm like, 5 years ago. And they're like, oh, we live right up the street. I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Yep. That's the world we live in right now.
It's ridiculous. All right. Well, I thank you for the media pass. I got a media pass, and I appreciate what you're doing. And it's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Michael.
So I went by. There's a display called Heavy Metal here, and I wanted to figure out what it was. So I'm here with Casey and Stefan. How are you guys doing?
Oh, doing great.
I can't have a bad day doing this.
I know. It's so awesome. Beer is so good. It just brings everybody together. Right?
Absolutely.
So I wanted to get an idea what the heavy metal was. I think it's former medal winners, and now you have their beer. Maybe you can explain a little bit?
So the heavy metal booth has been the previous GABF winners as well as the previous World Beer Cup winners. So the World Beer Cup's every 2 years. So last Beer Cup was in 2018. The next one will be 2020. So we're currently pouring over the course of the entire GABF over about 120 beers. And we've broken it out about 40 beers a session of all 2018 winners from GABF.
So you rotate them daily, I guess?
Correct. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And then it just comes back to all the former. So how far back do you go? A year or two? Or
just 1 year. So, correct. And now it's really neat sometimes that you have repeat winners. And so you'll see on our booths currently breweries that have a beer that won last year might also win a second year in a row. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
We don't know until Saturday morning, so we'll post all our winners, and then it's like double awesome.
That's awesome, yeah. Because there's not an opportunity, like if you're at the award ceremony and people run to the booth to see how it tastes like, and sometimes they're out of it, but now they can come back the following year and really taste it.
Yeah, absolutely. We get a lot of interest, especially when we throw up the 2019 winner list. And one of the things we also do is we help direct patrons to find some of those beers. If we don't necessarily have a winner, we'll help them locate the booth where that medal winner is being poured too.
That's awesome. That's great. Yeah. And you guys, you've been doing this for a while, I guess, pouring? Or?
Yeah, so it originated as like the Beer Geeks group, which really took like people who are very knowledgeable about beer. You had to apply to get into this group, first of all, and then they put us through like pretty intense training sessions. We do a couple of those before each session. It started as that, and now we've kind of taken over this heavy metal booth. So when you come here, all of the people working here are very knowledgeable about beer. There's a ton of homebrewers here, like people who can taste a beer and tell you what hops are in it.
That's awesome.
If you want the best of the best, this is the booth you got to come to.
I've had a couple beers. I have to have a couple more. I'm trying to stay coherent while I'm doing this.
You're doing great.
And then later I'll be...
But you got to still do a lap around the booth.
I have to enjoy,
yeah.
I came last night, and I'm okay now. I have a lot of Gatorade, and I'm okay.
There you go. You're a pro,
I'm a pro. So I appreciate you guys being on and explaining it, and have a great rest of the festival.
Thanks, you too.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers.
Hey, I'm here with John, and he's part of the ProAm competition. How you doing, John?
I'm great. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
No, I wanted to have a couple words with you, and maybe you could describe what the ProAm competition is and what the goal is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, just like any pro-am competition, you have amateurs and professionals. So all of these beers, we have 113 beers in the competition, are brewed by American Homebrewers Association members. And they've won its own homebrew competition, and a professional brewery teams up with that homebrewer, scales it up, and then enters it into the Great American Beer Festival competition. And so all 113 beers compete against one another for first, second, and third place.
Wow. Who won this year? I wasn't at the thing, do you know?
So we had a wood-aged sour beer from Imbibe in Portland, Oregon, I believe.
Very nice.
Yeah, it's awesome beer. And then we had a Lichtenheiner out of Precarious Beer Works. And then we had a Trappist single out of New Belgium.
That's awesome. And I'm trying to educate people on, there's not just one style of beer. There's so many different styles.
Right.
People think there's an IPA and a lager. A lot of people.
A ton of categories within the IPA and
But there's
lager.
a lot of category, and I do a podcast every Wednesday about beer styles, and I use the Great American Beer Festival. So I just take one each Wednesday and just blow it out. What kind of grains you use, a hop, stuff like that. So it's awesome, man.
Yeah,
but it's a great opportunity.
75 sub-styles in the competition this year, which is
that's crazy.
Insane to narrow that down to first, second, and third.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
It is.
But it's a great opportunity, I guess, as you said before, for homebrewers to get a taste of the commercials, and then maybe they can collaborate or something.
Yeah, so, a brewery and a home brewer, they kind of decide how much involvement each other wants in the process, right? So, as a home brewer, you want to have your hands on everything from recipe formulation all the way to packaging.
Right.
So they really get to see the entire process of a commercial brew of their recipe. And, a lot of these home brewers eventually want to go pro. So it's like a great intro to get them into the industry in a really fun, collaborative way.
It is. I was a home brewer, actually, too. I went from 5 gallons to 200 gallons, right? So it's like take the leap, right?
Yeah, it's a huge leap. Huge learning curve, but
that's not even enough beer, right? I mean,
right.
You need to crank out a lot of beer.
A ton of beer. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just wanted to stop by and say hello, and I appreciate what you guys are doing. That's awesome. The whole Brewer Association gave me the pass. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on, Michael.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that was your American Homebrewers Association. We had Director Gary Glass there. We got some people from Heavy Medal, which was previous winners of medals last year, and the GABF and World Beer Cup winners as well. So if you didn't have a chance to taste the beer, you could this year. And then the ProAm, which is where they pair an amateur brewer, like a home brewer, with a professional brewery, and then they create a beer, scale it up, and then they enter it into a competition. So it's not, the competition is not just brewers entering their stuff. They give the home brewers a chance too to collaborate. So it's awesome stuff. Good stuff. So that's some more sound bites from your GABF Festival 2019. Good visit, good time. And if you like our podcast, please go on iTunes, give us a rating, give us a review. 5 stars is awesome. Give us a shout out to your friends. Put us on Instagram, Facebook. Tag us. Send me an email, michael@craftbeerstorm.com, if you have any ideas, comments. If you have a brewer that and I can get them on, or anybody in the beer industry, actually, craft beer industry, we're 360. It doesn't matter what they do. Let's talk about it and get them on. We love to talk about everything about craft beer. We also have a food and beer pairing and a craft beer weekend coming up at the Victoria Inn on October 25th. So if you haven't gotten your tickets yet, go online. You can catch them, the link at www.craftbeerstorm.com. Also go on Instagram, Facebook. We got the links, LinkedIn. Just check out Craft Beer Storm, and we will get you connected with them, and you can get your weekend pass. And also, they have rooms there at the Victoria Inn. It's a really nice inn in Hampton. That's what we have for you today. I hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll talk to you on Wednesday with Beer Styles, another style from Great American Beer Festival list. A lot of beers, a lot of styles of beers out there. All right, we'll talk to you soon.